What do high growth startups in India really teach you about entrepreneurship? After working with a couple of them, learning from a lot of leaders in the industry, and also from my last guest, Rahul Maroli, co-founder and CEO at Tap Health, who featured in my last podcast, I would love to share a few things that I've learned over the past several years, both now as an entrepreneur myself, but mostly from people who have already done so. Let's talk about a few lessons that you possibly won't find in books. Hi, this is Saugat, back with Real Verses with Saugat. Join me as I delve deeper into lessons learned in entrepreneurship the hard way. Did you know that 90% of all startups in India fail within the first 5 years? That's a staggering number, I know. And yet, entrepreneurship has never been more appealing. It's fairly contradictory, but well, it's true nevertheless. Every day I meet people who want to quit their jobs, launch the next big idea, change the world. I suppose all of us have an entrepreneur within us, right? Everybody wants to do their own thing, be their own boss. The startup dream is very much alive. It's really vibrant and immensely powerful. But the reality is not always what Instagram or LinkedIn makes it look like. India today has one of the most exciting startup ecosystems in the world. We have unicorns and decacorns emerging every single year. There's access to venture capital like never before. You have a lot of incubators. You have amazing government support. And most importantly, you have a great young energetic talent pool. A lot of young folks want to be startup founders and actually are turning startup founders every single day. In fact, if you wanted to be an entrepreneur, there couldn't be a better time. But truth be told, despite this supportive ecosystem, so many entrepreneurs still stumble. Why? I think there are a lot of reasons. All of them walk into a very saturated market with very stiff competition. There are a lot of financial risks. There's lack of sustainable funding, and sometimes most dangerously a lack of vision, which to me actually is one of the most important factors if you ever want to become a successful entrepreneur. See, it's not just about starting up, right? I mean, it's also about staying up, and that requires more than just a good idea or even a great idea. Right? The first time I went to one of my mentors and told him that, hey, you know what, I've got an idea. He told me, Saugat, everyone's got a great idea. What's so special about yours? I think entrepreneurship demands a very specific blend of skills, mindset, and resources. You need the skill to manage operations, finance, people, HR, marketing, sales, maybe all at the same time, not to forget product. You also need a mindset to deal with constant rejection, uncertainty, and failure. And the resources, it's not just about money, right? But it's also about having a very, very strong network of family, of friends, of mentors and allies who can actually pull you back up when you stumble, and stumble you will, and not once. Often, even if you have all of these behind you, success is still not guaranteed. What it does guarantee though is resilience. You will learn to, you will acquire the ability to get up again and again and yet again. Let me try and share something personal from my own journey over the past 2 years almost as an entrepreneur now. In fact, I was thrown into it. I wasn't prepared, to be very honest. I was doing a job. I left it, or I had to leave it. But during these past 2 years, there have been a lot of occasions when I genuinely felt like giving up. Everything around me seemed to collapse. I remember the sleepless nights. In fact, they still continue. The conversations that went nowhere, the deals that were supposed to come through, people who promised did not deliver. But what hurt the most wasn't the failures, it was the people. People who I believed in, people who I thought would back me, people who ridiculed me, dismissed me, or even looked at me as if I was already finished. And I suppose in those moments, I discovered something really important, something life-changing that I'm going to hold very dear for the rest of my mortal life. Every time I wanted to quit, I reminded myself of all those faces, every single word, every single smirk, every person who said, "You can't do it, Saugat." I think that's become my fuel, and I continue to keep it that way. My strength hasn't come from applause. It has come from a lot of criticism, a lot of rejection, and a lot of doubt, even from people who are close to me. But I suppose slowly I have learned. I'm still learning. It's a constant work in progress. It's possibly going to go on till I live. But slowly but surely, I am learning the value of moving ahead, even if it is just one small step at a time. Because the momentum matters. You can't stop. Nothing stops for you. The world will continue moving on. Progress matters, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not at the same pace that you would have liked it to be. But it's all right. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Don't give up. I suppose being stubborn also helps sometimes, which I am, within. So what have I learned? First, let's understand the ratio, right? 9 out of 10 startups fail, and they will fail. Let's accept the risk before you chase the reward. I think it's very important to understand the ratio of risk and reward here before you can actually move on to the next step. Second, preparation is everything. You can't wing it forever. Build systems, processes, and a strong support network. Family, friends, people who are going to stand by you when things get tough, and tough they will. Not just once, it'll keep happening over and over again. Third, I think to me the most important part is the vision that you have. It may not be perfect on day one. It might take you a long time, but you need to have a vision, not for the next quarter, but for the next 10 years. If you don't know where you're going, how are you ever going to reach there? Fourth, I think some amount of first principles thinking. Let's not complicate this. It's not a very big word. It just means asking yourself the most core questions and getting to the most core truth out there, and then building from there, one brick at a time. Let's just strip away all the noise and get to the foundation. Next, very importantly, let's focus. Let's dig in one place deeply rather than scattering your energy across 10 different experiments. I have seen a lot of founders doing that, and trust me, I have seldom seen it succeed. Next is, of course, team and delegation. Bring together passionate people who believe in the mission, and then trust them. Learn the art of mindful delegation, because no founder can do everything alone. I think this is one of the most important lessons that I have seen, I have learned in my career so far. You are not going to be able to do everything alone. You must learn to trust others. Entrepreneurship is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about grit, resilience, vision, and the courage to take one more step when everything in you says stop. What's your biggest lesson from entrepreneurship or from chasing a dream that felt impossible? Drop in the comments. I would love to read and respond to them. And stay tuned